Hi, welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh. Each week, we feature an industry leader that will share the latest trends and the best strategies to help you grow. Now, welcome your host, Rupesh Patel.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. I always mess that part. That transition always gets me, and I'm gonna get it. Eventually I'll get it, guys. Hang in there with me. I am definitely gonna get it. Guys, welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We are back again with a Hospitality Live with me, Rupesh. This is episode number 57, and I'm staying positive. I am gonna stay productive like that, like I have been the last couple weeks, and I'm gonna keep my mind focused on what is best for my family, but what's best for my business, what's best for my connections, what's best for my relationships. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to inspire you. And this episode is Road to Recovery: How to Become a More Productive Leader, featuring Allison. I got that right. And guys, don't forget, we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card during the show. So comment and let me know where you're watching from, where you're listening from, and guess what? What's one productivity tip that you have? Please comment, let us know, and state the city that you're in, because I'm going to be giving you a shout out right now to hey guys, good morning. I see people from all over the place. Guys, good morning. Yes, my dad is actually declined yesterday as far as his numbers, but he hopefully will get better. I'm staying positive. I know he's going to get better because he's been a fighter all his life, through all the businesses that he's been through, all the struggles that he's been through. He went through the 1992 Hurricane Andrew in South Florida and demolished his entire property. And he fought through that without power for 4 months at his hotel. And so if he can get through that, and that was a lot of struggle, a lot of pain, especially when the insurance companies folded back in 92, he can get through this too, right? This is something that we're all staying positive on. So good morning, guys, to St. Paul, Minnesota, Maryland, Orlando, Maine, Freeport, Maine. Good morning. Toronto, Dalton, Georgia. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, guys. All right, so this episode, you're going to discover how to become a top performing leader every single day. It's not just one day that you're a leader. The next day, you're like, I don't know if I can do this. This is productivity tips that can help you go past that mindset. When you're thinking like, oh, I don't know if I can get through it. These are the tips that you need. These are the tips I use every single day to keep myself positive. Even if we're going through things, even if the day we didn't wake up on the right side of the bed, because there are days when you're like, I don't feel like working. I don't feel like being here. But then you get over it with these tips and this mindset and this way of life. And this is the way I think. I woke up at 4:30 this morning and I'm just keeping going. All right. So I hope that you're doing the same. I hope you learned from this. And guys, this episode, welcome guys, Charleston, Jacksonville, India, Denver, Colorado. Good morning. All right, so this episode is brought to you by my good friends at Spur Work. Guys, in the comments right now, put this, and I forgot to put it in the comments. In the comments, please type this in right now, somebody in the comments, spurwork.com/hospitality live. And I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I know I read about it last week and I kind of explained what they do. Guys, they're the #1 payroll HR benefits platform. It's all online. So there's no more paperwork. There's none of that scanning, printing, emailing people, new hire packets, termination packets, HR benefits package. All that stuff is gone, guys. It's all online through an app, through a browser-based, web-based system that you eliminate all the headaches. Because guess what? Hiring and keeping people on and keeping them motivated and payroll, all that stuff's a headache, guys. This is Spur. All right, so Spur, guys, it's spurwork.com/hospitality life. Switching HR payroll providers seems painful, and yes, it is super painful. Spur makes it easy to handle everything for you, right? They do everything. So you have an implementation person that comes on and helps you convert your old archaic system into the awesome thing that Spur has to offer, and it's 100% online, 100% paperless, which I appreciate, right? And your employees will appreciate it too. You can onboard a new employee within 15 minutes. And I did a walkthrough and it was like 7 minutes to onboard an employee. How long does it take you for your hotel to onboard somebody and go through the whole process of hiring, sending them the booklet, your HR booklet? All those things are online. Even the scheduling is all online. And guess what? It works well. It works perfectly with hotel effectiveness if you're looking at your time as far as keeping track of your employees and your associates that are working right now. This system works exactly in line with them. Guys, you can have Spur set up within days. You can have Spur set up your entire system frustration free. That's what we want right now, and save money. They're super affordable. And thank you so much to Spur for sponsoring this show. All right, so on to mindset. All right, this week's mindset, and every week I do a mindset before the show starts, and this week's mindset is right here. A successful manager does not allow drama among staff and takes swift action to stop it. Does anybody agree with that? Have you worked at a hotel? And guys, thanks for the URLs. Has anybody worked at a hotel where there's drama? You hear about it, maybe it's not you, but it's that person that you just hired that just starts all this drama, and you're like, oh my God, they're gonna ruin the entire team. They're gonna ruin this family environment that we have, this close bond that we have with our entire team. And you've seen that before, right? A great GM, a great manager will stop it right then. They won't allow it to go forward. They'll pull that person aside and say, what's going on? What can we do to help you? Is there something that we could do, right? And I like that when we're leaders, we do this, right? We don't let it slide, or we don't say, oh, she's just having a bad day, or he's having a bad day. We bring it to their attention, like, hey, I noticed that you're not yourself today. What can I help you with, right? And so we don't blame them, but we find out what's going on, because we can be like, hey, I see that you're mad, you're yelling at people. Well, that's not the answer. It's the answer is really understanding how they feel, because yeah, maybe we all have issues, right? There might be something at home that's on their mind, right? And so yeah, people are saying, of course, drama happens every single day at hotels, and it's our job as great leaders to stop that, right? To understand what's going on, uncover that issue. And guys, and please comment, let me know what you've done in the past or right now or recently to kind of squash drama at your hotel. And it happens every department. There's housekeeping, maintenance, the front line, everybody, behind the scenes, there's always a little bit of drama because, we're different people, right? And so that's my mindset this week. Guys, comment, let us know. Yeah, gossip, drama, it's like it's all over the place. And I feel like we should be the leaders that set the tone. We cut out all those issues, right? That's the mindset this week, guys. All right, so what we do every week, we do the hospitality minute with Sarah Dandashy. Here she is. Sarah,
hey,
let me get your intro in.
Hi, I'm Sarah Dandashy from Ask a Concierge. Every week, I'll be sharing the latest hospitality and travel news and updates in a segment we like to call Hospitality Minutes.
All right, Sarah. So I know there's lots happened in this past week in hospitality and travel. What's going on? Let us know. Give us a lowdown.
Okay, perfect. I'll dive right in. There's a lot of really good stuff. One of the big things that I found, and I'm sure you guys will totally find this really interesting because this is what we do in hospitality, but we all know it. Service is what really differentiates and makes hotels stand out. Yes, you can have amazing, beautiful exterior, beautiful product, but service is so much a part of the product. And now we actually have more studies to prove that. So J.D. Power did a 2020 third-party hotel management guest satisfaction benchmark. My gosh, that's a long name for that. And they found in their study that the key element driving hotel guest satisfaction is staff service. So even in the age of the digitally enabled, this contactless hotel bookings, hand sanitized check-ins, all of that good stuff, really what it comes down to is just how staff service is. So I think that's a huge thing that we really just reemphasize how important hospitality really is and what we're doing. Another really interesting thing that we've seen is called flights to nowhere. This was new for me to learn about, but basically they are exactly what the name implies. They're flights that mimic longer international trips, but ultimately land at the same airport from which they departed. Now, they've done a couple of these in Asia, but even more recently, Qantas just did a flight to nowhere, and it sold out within 10 minutes. So which it actually is one of the fastest selling flights in Qantas's history. And by the way, tickets, I was looking at tickets prices, were ranging from $500 to $2,000 to really just go on a plane. Totally interesting, but it goes to show you people want that travel experience, even if they aren't going anywhere. Another great thing that we've seen in the news recently, could temperature check machines be part of the new airport experience? Possibly, but we aren't there yet. It looks like a couple Fridays ago, the U.S. Senate introduced a proposal for legislation that would task the TSA to deploy a temperature check program. So now we won't be going through just the machines necessarily that check us metal detectors, but we will also probably go through temperature check machines. And ultimately, the final thing, what we're seeing, a study by bookings.com came out that they are now allowing property partners to offer weekly and monthly rates. And I think that's really important, right? Don't you agree, Rupesh? Because it's showing that, I mean, if booking.com is now saying, hey, that just shows what the demand is that people are looking for these weekly and monthly stays. So a lot to learn right there. And hopefully you can take it and implement it with your businesses.
Absolutely. Sarah, so you're saying that there's a flight that goes nowhere. You just get on the plane?
Yeah. So the one for Qantas actually leaves on October 10th. It's on a 787, and it's departing out of Sydney Domestic Airport, and it'll be a 7-hour flight. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, what? You're just sitting on the tarmac? Like, you're just flying around? Or you're actually flying. You get out of the ground. Like,
you fly, and I don't know the exact route, but I mean, in essence, it probably goes just in a giant loop, just so that people can have that experience of traveling. Now, I'd be curious to see how can we mimic that in another way. I mean, I don't know if there's really a way to mimic that in hotels.
Does anybody have a comment on how we could kind of take that idea and bring it to our hotels? Like, how do we bring that experience to your house?
Or like, have we already done that with staycations?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, wow, you got quiet.
I'm like, I think it works. It could work. Hopefully in the comments, we'll see if there's any ideas on how we can implement that. Because I think if they sold out in 10 minutes, how do we sell our hotel out in 10 minutes?
Right. What can we offer? I mean, that's amazing.
Sarah, are you still in Pennsylvania?
I still am. I'm in my grandparents' office. I'm here for just a couple more days before I head back west.
Well, enjoy, make memories, and tell your family I say hey, and have a safe trip back. I'll see you next Wednesday with the Hospitality Minute. Guys, please connect with Sarah on Instagram, LinkedIn. Where else are you? Because I think we're only connected on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm also on Twitter as Ask a Concierge, as well as Facebook. So Ask a Concierge everywhere. Definitely.
And you have a YouTube channel.
I do. Yes, I do. Most importantly, I do have a YouTube channel. Exactly.
She has a big YouTube channel with thousands of followers. And same thing, she's verified on Instagram, so she's real.
I'm legit.
She has that blue check mark. Sarah, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And we'll see you next week.
All right, see you then.
Right, Sarah's awesome, guys. Please follow her here on LinkedIn and through all her social media channels. All right, so the topic this week is how to become a more productive leader. Now, if you've ever been in that situation where you're like, how do I get this mindset of just becoming a better leader? How do I get these few ideas that can just take me over the edge on becoming a great leader? This topic is going to be perfect show for you. And our special guest, our featured guest is Kyle Allison. Let me just bring him on real quick. Kyle, hey, welcome to the show.
What's up?
Managing partner and the show producer, show everything for Hospitality MD. He has his own podcast with his team. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here. And everybody make sure to check out Hospitality MD. We actually had a pleasure to have Rupesh on our show as well. So definitely check out his episode to hear more about his story. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, you've worked the front desk. You've dealt with everything. Before the show, you were saying 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the morning. You'd work long shifts, and have you worked a triple before?
A triple, pretty close, but I don't think I've made it through that threshold completely, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, I've done triples back to back, and it's not fun. And but there are hotel GMs right now. There are leaders right now doing it because they've stepped up, right? You have to step up sometimes and kind of get those things done. And so today we're talking about leadership, and we're talking about the productivity tips that can help us all grow. And, when it comes to productivity, like, what do you do to kind of stay focused and stay on that path of success?
So I've struggled with this for a long time, and it partially because of my operations background, right? I think a lot of people can relate to this. Again, when you're working, until 2, 3 in the morning, and you get home and you sleep until noon, it's tough. So I think a lot of people, especially in hospitality, because we don't have the luxury of consistency all the time in our schedules and routines that kind of make the foundation for productivity, it can be difficult to do. So like I said, I've struggled with it, but now, I'm turning Hospitality MD or making that into a business, and I'm starting to have to learn these productivity tips, and it's been really, really fun and interesting for me. So I definitely think the biggest thing to do is to wake up early. And I'm not an early bird. I mean, like I said, work until 3 a.m., wake up at noon. But waking up early is truly the best way to start your day, to get off to a good start and kind of set yourself up for success throughout the day. Another thing with that is take a shower when you wake up in the morning. Please. I know in this age of remote work, it's like, oh, I'm going to wake up the last second and then just get on my laptop and log in. I just can't do it. Nobody has to see me. I don't need to look presentable. You feel better when you take a shower. I've been talking to a lot of people who just like kind of admit, well, sometimes I skip my shower in the morning. Don't do it. It's going to hurt you in the long run.
Absolutely. And, for me, I wake up, like I said this morning, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. this morning. And typically I wake up anywhere between 3 and like 5:30. It just depends on what's going on, what plans I have, what's to do on my schedule for that day. And every day I'm waking up early. I spend, and here's my tip. Yes, of course, wake up early. And guys, this is 7 days a week for me. I wake up every single day early. Because I feel like I'm missing something, missing out on life. And even Sarah says it's essential. Like if you're sleeping in and, of course you need that sleep. So make sure you get at least 8 hours of sleep, right? And I do, right? Most days. But you have to know your body. You have to understand exactly when you're feeling drained and then when you're feeling energetic. And getting up early gets like everything going for me. It like makes me productive. I feel like I can eat lunch at like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when my lunchtime typically is 6 to 8 or 9 or something like that because I got up so early. But, getting up early and yes, taking a shower and being in that mindset of working. It's like I'm at home. This is my home office. But guess what? Ever since this outbreak, the virus pandemic, we've been staying home and I'm doing a lot of work from home. And guess what? Every single day I put my shoes on. And that was a tip that I learned from somebody else. Like, hey, take a shower, put your shoes on, put your work clothes on. That way you're in the mindset of getting up. And that's a productivity hack, especially if you're at home, right? And you're not going in and you might be working from your office for a few days and you're going in a few days. Get ready, get in that mindset of waking up early, taking a shower like you're saying, and being in that mindset of working. Because if you're in your pajamas trying to get things done, it doesn't work. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really the foundation for starting your day, honestly. And I know for a lot of people, you're thinking, well, I'm the assistant director of F&B right now, and I'm working, manager shifts in the restaurant, and I can't do it. It's so much. But if your shift starts at 2 o'clock and you're working a PM shift, instead of waking up at noon and rushing to work, wake up at 9 or 10 in the morning, and go for a walk, read, do something to make you feel like you've lived your life before you go into work. Because when you allow your hospitality job to rob you of your creativity and your kind of emotional freedom, it will make you less productive at work. No matter how much you love your hospitality job, and I know we all do, you have to allow some time for yourself, live your life before you go to work.
Absolutely. And, getting up, taking that shower, all of those things. All right. So we came up with the top 13. We've been through the first one. The second one for me is don't check your email as the first thing you do when you pick up your phone. Because I know we're like in our bed and we're like, oh, let me just pick up my phone and check my email, check my social media, see what's going on. Stop all of that because that's driving you crazy. It's already building that stress in your head. Like, oh my God, what's happening at work? Guess what? If they didn't call you in the middle of the night, it's okay. You have time to relax and take time for yourself, right? Now, if there's something super important one day out of a period, it's okay to check because you're looking forward to something. But if you can get up and have some time for yourself, right? you're drinking a coffee, whatever, take time for yourself for the first 30 minutes. And that's what I do. So I even wake up way before my next one's going to be like the fitness thing. I get up like 45 minutes, an hour, maybe an hour and a half before I even have to do my next thing, because I want to get my mindset straight, and I want to get things that I want to make a list, right? And that's part of the 13 things. What do you do after you wake up?
So for me, the first thing I do, and I know most people probably do this, is I go straight for the coffee maker. Boom, got to get my coffee going in the morning. But and as much as, you know, like I said, I'm not a morning person, so I struggle to wake up, and I've been kind of forcing myself every day to wake up a little bit earlier to get myself in the habit of waking up early and kind of reversing the cycle of sleeping in and whatnot. So first thing I do is I wake up and I go straight for the coffee maker. And as much as, you know, that kind of is a crutch to a certain extent, it's also a routine that I'm establishing, which I think has been helpful. So first thing I do, wake up, get my coffee, and while my coffee is going, I read. Instead of scrolling through social media, I read. And it makes that relaxation time productive.
Yeah. What do you read?
I read a lot of things. I have a lot of like Ernest Hemingway books and stuff that I read, but more recently I've been reading a lot of hospitality and hotel books, and just finished a book yesterday actually called Gung Ho by Ken Blanchard. And actually perfect for this subject. Everybody should get that book, Gung Ho. It will show you not only how to make yourself more productive, but more importantly, as leaders, our job is to make everybody else more productive so they can work with us, for our common goal. That book will show you exactly how to do that. And, it was a great read. So everybody check out that book.
I love that you're saying that it's not just for us. And, you know, most people on this show are like, oh, I'm going to write these down. I'm going to make it for myself. Guys, if you're a leader, you inspire your entire team. So make this list of 13 or 14 or 100. There's thousands of things that you can do to stay productive. Our 13, share it with your entire team, right? And that way they understand that it's not just, or I can become a leader too, right? And that's powerful when you can get everybody else on. And where did you buy it, on Amazon?
I did actually, yeah. It was actually my business partner and podcast host Greg ordered it for me on Amazon. He thought I'd like it, and he was right. So it was great. Get your team books. It helps them. But Rupesh, I definitely want to, if you don't mind, focus in on this for a second, because I think we can be as productive as we want, but if our team isn't productive, like, we can only do so much as individuals. Right. And I think as hospitality leaders, it's our job to, you know, kind of right the ship and let our team kind of do the work for us, right? Because I think a lot of leaders get caught up in doing the work, but it's not always just about the work. It's about big picture. And we can only do that if we utilize our team.
I definitely agree. All right. So the next one that I am super focused on, because health is everything right now, especially with my dad being in the hospital. And you start thinking of your own life, and you start thinking of, like, what can I do to improve, and how do I live a long, happy life? And it's not worrying about that health that comes up, right? And you can get that started right now by just starting a fitness routine if you already don't. So 6 days a week. Yeah, you heard it. 6 days a week, I'm hitting the gym. And we have a great group of people that go to the gym at the 5:30 class in the Orange Theory Fitness Center in Winter Park, in Florida. And that's where I go every single day, or at least 6 days a week. And, you know, those people keep me accountable. Those people are like, hey, where were you? Today I didn't go in because the class was full. I couldn't get in. I would have gone. But, you know, but I'll make it up. Every single day I'm in there trying to get my health in line, right? Getting my mind cleared, and it reduces stress. And that's a big productivity hack when you're talking about how to become productive. It's making sure that you have enough energy throughout the day, and working out has been a big tip of mine. I mean, it's been like a game changer as far as, like, just staying focused on what I want to do and how I want to feel, right? And fitness is different to different people. Like, some people want to lose weight. Some people want to feel better. Some people want to fit in those jeans that they haven't in 10 years, right? Some people want to just be ready for the beach next year, or that family reunion. There's so many different reasons why fitness and your health means so much. And that's part, I mean, look at my dad right now. He can't do anything. His health is in bad condition, right? He can't move, he can't see, he can't talk. How are you going to do that if your health? How are you going to work? How are you going to inspire others if you don't have good health, right? And that's where a huge productivity hack. That's a hack that I think we all get into, and a lot of us make an excuse of, oh, I don't have time for this, or I don't feel like it. But we make excuses because we have time for TV. We have time for I call it the crap in our life, right? And that's when you have to say what is actually important, what is important to you in your life, and health is a big part of it. And that's a huge productivity thing. Health is super important, especially now that I've been, on this track, but especially now when you see a family member, you start thinking of, and friends hurting, you start thinking about your own mortality. You start thinking of what you're going to do in your life to change. And I can give you countless stories on what's happened in my life where I'm like, man, it all goes back to health. Health is the new wealth. Doesn't matter if you have $1 million in your pocket, right? 20 million, $1 billion. If you die, you're sick, you're done, right? And that's where it gets started. When I start my mornings off every morning with some routine of working out. If it's just running around with my son, I do 2 miles around the neighborhood, or it's at the gym, I'm keeping it going. That's all we can do.
Yeah, Rupesh, I really, really liked one of the sentiments that you said, which was, how can we inspire others if we're not if we're not healthy and we're not our best version of ourselves? And I think, and I've struggled with this too, is we tend to make a lot of excuses for our own comfort or our own being in our comfort zone. But once you put into the perspective of, I won't be the best for my team, I won't be the best for the people in my family, the people in my sphere of influence, it becomes less about, maybe fitting into those genes. Maybe we won't motivate everybody, but I think that being there for the people you love can certainly be a huge motivator as well. Another thing on that subject, get your teams involved. How many people stretch with their room attendants and housekeepers in the morning? Like that, those are the kind of things that we can all do to get everybody involved, to make sure that, if we're all stretching, we're doing some jumping jacks, we're increasing our energy in the morning, our room attendants aren't going to get hurt on the job because they're stretching, workers' comp will go down, productivity will go up. It's all full circle. And I think there's certainly creative ways that we can implement this for ourselves and for our teams.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. All right. So the next one, and this is a huge thing. This is like my pet peeve, is I'm a list person. Anybody else a list person? I have books and books of just lists and different things that I keep myself organized with. And that's a big productivity hack. When you don't know and you can't remember everything, right? I always tell everybody, like, you come to a meeting, you come to one of my meetings, you better have a thick book or a notepad that you're writing stuff down. You cannot remember everything. So that's one thing that when I organize a meeting or any kind of class situation where I have multiple people, even if it's one person, I want you to bring a book, bring a notepad, bring a pen so you can write things down. You're not going to be able to remember all this stuff. And lists are king because you have to go back to them and you have to cross them out. And for me, it's a daily list, it's a weekly list, it's a monthly list. Then I also have a back burner list of things that are like on my wish list of things to do, right? And you can have those for your personal self, like your personal life at your home, friends. You can also have them for work, right? And that's a big part. When you have a list of things you have to do for the hotel, stuff to buy, you make a list, right? Same thing when you're trying to stay productive and cross things out. Like, how good does it feel when you're crossing things out, Kyle? And you're like, I got that done. And that was like a big priority for me. And I put the most important things on top. Sometimes I do like 2 easy things, like I can knock out in 10 minutes. Then I get to the hard one that takes like some time, an hour or 2 or 3 or the whole day. But at the end of the day, when I could cross that out, you're like, I accomplished something. And that's what I feel like in life and at the hotel. That's what we want. We want to feel like we have accomplished something, right? Instead of just like, it was just another day, right? And this is what lists do for me. And I hope that it could do it for you too, where you cross things out. Kyle, are you a list person?
Yeah, I think it's having a list and crossing something out. It's like, it's the manifestation of productivity for yourself. in hotels, we have like hotel effectiveness, for example, right? Where we can see, okay, validation that our team is being productive or they're not. With ourselves, we don't really have our own, accountability tool, but I think lists and crossing them out can be a great way to do it. And that dopamine that you get when you cross something out leads to more productivity. But yeah, I have a notebook that I carry around with me everywhere. I'm currently at my parents' house in Florida, and I live in Chicago, and I brought this notebook with me from Chicago just because it has everything that I need to refer back to, list things that I'm working on. And it's definitely a favorite of mine to stay productive as well.
Yeah. And, along with not just a physical, like a physical book, you can also do it on your phone. You have a phone right there. You have notes in your phone. If you use an iPhone, you have reminders. You have Siri that can make notes for you. Did you know that you can say, "Hey Siri," and it'll come up and say, "Hey, what can I help you with?" And you can say, "Make a list," and it'll start, making a list for you and give you a reminder day when it's due. I use Siri all the time, and it's part of my my top list of the 13 productivity hacks, our top list, and it's using technology to kind of make us better, right? Make us optimize ourselves as far as keeping ourselves accountable, keeping ourselves organized, keeping ourselves going. And that's a productivity hack in itself. So yeah, you might not be able to take this book around everywhere with you, but you have your phone, right? And so how do you translate those two things? And you can have a list on Google Drive, which I do.
Yeah, I was very resistant to technology for actually a little while, and I'm in my 20s, and I'm telling you, I was resistant to these technologies because I thought I knew better. I thought I could remember it myself. I thought I was smart enough to do it on my own. But as I started adding more to my plate and things started getting missed, I realized that I had to change, and that's when I started using Google Drive, which has been a game changer for sure. The Google Calendar, Google Drive, lists, even my notebook is still what I'm holding on to for my not everything is going to be done with Google, but yeah, technology has been a huge help. And when I've been in the weeds operationally, right, you get to work and you're a front office manager or any operations position in a hotel, and you come in and you think in your head, this is all the stuff I'm going to do today. And then boom, you get hit with the whirlwind of the day-to-day of the operations of the hotel. And all of a sudden you forget things, you slip up, you're not as productive. So once I started writing things down, that's when, I was able to battle that day-to-day that kind of exists when you work in a hotel.
Yeah, definitely. And this goes for everybody. So share with your team. Let's make lists so we can keep each other accountable. We can assign tasks to each other. And guess what? We can make sure that we finish the job, right? We finish the list of things. So if you're in engineering, you have a list of PM stuff, right? If you're in housekeeping, you have a list of inventory. If you're in accounting, you have a list of things that you need to do every single month, every single week to keep the account up to date. Maybe your AR, your anything. Same thing with the front desk associates, front desk managers, front desk supervisors. There's a list that every single department has, including FMB, right? And the sales team. Lists are king, man. I'm telling you, it keeps me so organized. And it's okay if you have multiple lists. I have a list. Then I also have a small sticky note of things that I have to do right now within that list, right? So that way there's that those little things. I could say list 1, 2, 3 for today, but inside that list might be little things I need to work on within that list, right? So does anybody do that, or am I just crazy?
Rupesh, I do not do that personally, but I think maybe once I'm as busy as you, I might start doing it. So I think that might be it. But I think you make a great point, which is that the foundation of our hotels are lists. And we know this. What's the first thing you say when you go to a new property and start a new job? Let me see your checklist. You know what I mean? Let me see your inventory list. And, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until right now, once you said it, that, we are in an environment constantly surrounded by lists. why are we not consistently doing this for ourselves on a wide scale? So I think great point.
Yeah, I mean, every even the front desk, you have your A shift, your B shift, your C shift list of things that you have to check off. Make sure you get these things done, right? Especially if you're a new hire, like these are the things you have to get done before you end your shift. And I feel like lists are, I mean, I can't say enough about lists. And I think that's powerful when you can remember that make lists even when you're going into meetings. All right. So we can talk about lists all day long and all the different hacks, all the different apps, all the different ways to kind of keep you organized within that list. And even how to set up your list. If that would be something that somebody would want to go in depth with, send me a direct message. I'm happy to kind of share how I do it. Sometimes it's overboard, but sometimes, and this is the only way I stay organized with all the stuff that's going on in my life. All right, so we're at number 5. And Kyle, I don't know if you've done this in the past. I've been doing a lot of this recently, and it's the power of saying no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let that sink in. It's the power of saying no as a productivity hack, tip, strategy. Has anybody said no recently to something that you were asked to do or to be involved in or to be a part of? I have. And I've said, listen, I'm so thankful that you chose me you thought about me when you were thinking about this one thing. Right now, I don't have time for it, but I'm happy to look at it in the future, right? So I don't like saying no to everything. Like, it's not just no. It's like, let's consider this for a future date because I have a lot going on right now. Your time is valuable. And if you're going to say yes to everything, guess what? You're leaving things behind, like going to the gym. You're leaving things behind, like your health, the way you think, all those things, because you're kind of confusing yourself. And there's a lot of times I say no to a lot of things. Now, we don't say no to guests, right? Yes is always the answer, like Christine Trippi always says. But no is powerful when you're talking about a productivity hack for yourself and at work, right? Sometimes you say, no, we can't. We want to be everywhere. We want to do everything. We want to be involved with everything. Sometimes we have to say no. Have you done that recently?
Yeah, Rupesh, I think you make a great point, especially because, like, you know, I've had the privilege, and I think as many people watching your show have had the privilege of seeing you elevate, you know, your following, and with more souls to inspire comes more responsibilities. And, you know, you can't honor that commitment that you've made to your following, to your family, to your hotels, if you get bogged down with other stuff that doesn't align with your priorities. And I think, you know, that priority part will tie into one of our next topics here. I'm at the point right now in my entrepreneurship journey where I'm still finding the balance because I want all the opportunities that come my way and kind of try and learn and grow from them. However, at the hotel level, and I think a lot of people can appreciate this, you know, you have your own department to focus on, or your own division that you're focusing on, and you're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions. I've had to say no to my sales team plenty of times about different initiatives that they were trying to implement. And I'm like, listen, we haven't even gotten the basics down yet. Once we get there, I assure you it will actually benefit what you're trying to do. So sometimes it's not about yes and no, it's more about chronology, I think, to your point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And yeah, no is probably more powerful than a yes, right? Because you could say yes to everything, but it's hard to say no to people, especially when you really want to be involved. You really want to do not the right thing, because the right thing is what you know inside of you, but the right thing for the time, the moment right now. You know, I've had people say, hey, I would love for you to do this right now. And I'm like, I have too many things going on in my life. And then if I say yes to you, then I'm giving something else away, maybe family time, maybe time from something else, right? And that's when it's powerful to say no and understand not everything's a no and not everything's a yes.
For anybody who's ever watched the show Shark Tank on ABC, I think one thing that I've noticed from watching that show growing up is Mark Cuban will always say, you know, time is my most valuable asset, more so than the money I'd be investing into this, and the amount of time it would take me to get you up and running would not be worth it. Or would not be worth whatever equity. And, you know, as much as that's very much a business valuation type of scenario, you also have to value your own personal time. So that's something that stuck with me for a long time. And I think it's certainly applicable everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right. So the next one, Kyle, what is the next one?
So we have learned take short breaks, right? That's what I have on my list. That's what you have, right?
Short breaks, and it's so, we're just working, and then we forget that, oh, we need to get up real quick, right? And what I do is I actually have my iWatch tell me like it's time to get up, and I timed it where I get up every few whatever minutes, hours, whatever. And that way you just take a short break from what you're doing, because you can get boggled up into just what you're doing, and then you lose focus of the time, or you lose focus of what you were supposed to be doing, or going back to your list. Like you forget, oh yeah, I had these other things to do. So taking that break away from what you're doing and kind of thinking, it's kind of like I was talking about reviews. When you get bad feedback through any platform, Medallia, wherever, you get a bad survey or a score or an email from a guest because they weren't happy. Guess what? You don't just go into it and just respond right away and take care of it right then. You think about it real quick, right? You think about how you properly, eloquently respond to that review. And that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about breaks at work is take a break, take some time for yourself to think about how you're going to move forward the rest of the day, how you're not going to get burnt out. Someone says, we don't want to be burnt out. Yes, we do not want to be burnt out. And just taking time for yourself really quickly. It's not like, oh, you're taking a 45-minute break and you're going out and talking to your coworkers or whatever, but no, you're taking a break for yourself.
Yeah, and I actually, because I'm not an office person, I thrive so that's why I love hotel operations, because I don't want to be confined in an office. However, as we all know, as being a hotel manager, being an entrepreneur, being a hotel owner, you have to have your office time to accomplish your admin work and the tasks that need to be accomplished. So for me, when I take a break, I actually do the opposite of what you just said. I actually go and talk to my coworkers. Sure. Because that's the time that's what energizes me personally, is because, if I spend all day in my office as a hotel manager, my team isn't seeing me, I'm not visible. So my break time is the time that, I go out and I check some people in, or, I go and say hi to the in-room dining team, or whatever the case might be. And that's what re-energizes me. And on days that because some days I have where I just don't want to be in the office, and I know, okay, I can shift some of these priorities to later because they're not that important right now. I will actually use my office time as a break for my being out on the front lines with my team time. So I think it's really about what energizes you, and, kind of having that balance between personal and team priorities.
Absolutely. And guys, don't forget, we're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card before the end of the show, Kyle. So I've written down some names that have been really active here. And please comment. Please continue sharing your feedback and being engaged here, because someone is going to win that $50 gift card to Amazon. And I'm going to send it to you directly today before this afternoon, and you'll see it in your inbox. So guys, keep commenting. I love all these comments that everyone's sharing. Are you reading them?
Yeah, I've been seeing some names popping up over and over and over again as well. So I'll see if you and I are thinking the same thing at the end of the show.
Absolutely. All right, good. So the next one, and I think you understand what prioritization means, is learn how to prioritize, like what to do first and what is just a waste of time. Because we get bogged into things that are like, why am I doing this? And you have to step back and be like, wait, why am I actually doing this when I could be doing some more important things, right? Or delegating. And that's called prioritization when you're talking about learn what's most important right now, especially in a hotel, right? If there's a guest complaint, you're not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna call them tomorrow. You're gonna prioritize that to like right now. Or if there's a room issue, you're gonna fix that right now, especially if they're in-house compared to like, an occupied room. If there's an issue in an unoccupied room, you can wait on it. But if there's somebody's guest in-house in the room, we're going to fix it, right? That's prioritization. And I feel like as leaders, sometimes we get boggled up in like the day-to-day activities where we don't know how to prioritize our list. We don't know how to prioritize our day. And then we are lost by the end of the day, and we feel like nothing was accomplished, right? Does anybody agree with that?
I personally have experienced that time and time again in hotel operations. But I think, what you just said, at least it makes me feel better. And it's something that I've tried to learn over the years working in hotels, is that your priority at all times, no matter what, no matter how long your list is, no matter what your GM told you to do, is to focus on the guest and make sure that every person who walks through that door, whether it's your team or your guest, are taken care of and prioritized. I don't know how many times I've stopped what I was doing to take care of a guest or take care of a team member who needed help. And sometimes you look back and you think, man, I wasn't that productive today. But if you took care of your guests and if you took care of your team, I think you can walk away with your head held high, knowing that you did a great job serving your hotel like a true hotelier does.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So the next one, number 9, is schedule all meetings. This is for me. I always schedule meetings on a certain day at certain times. I'm not, my schedule is just not open for everybody to come in and say, all right, I'm going to take this time away from you. I'm going to take this time away from you. I don't do that. I don't know if anybody else does this too, but I pick like Thursdays at this time, between this time and this time, to do meetings. I set other days from this time to this time, and it's weekly. So I know that every week I have these meetings at this certain time, and I'm not going to allow anybody else to get in that way. And that could be even for gym. Like, you're going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning to 6:30 in the morning. You're not going to allow anything else to stop you, right? And I feel like we can set that in our mind when we're talking about being productive, is always set a time for meetings, always set a time for this one thing, or even emails. Like, all right, when I get to work, I'm not going to just check email. I'm going to find out, walk the property, talk to guests. I'm going to check, talk to the associates and leaders and see what's going on. And then we'll go back and check email. Then I'll go back and do this. Then I'll go back and do that. That's prioritization. But then even when you're setting up meetings, like, everybody knows, like, all right, you can get to Rupesh at this time on this day during these times. And that's kind of what I do, like for Calendly or anything, that I only have these certain dates that I have open to meetings or any face-to-face meetings or anything like that. Because if you're just open, people could take away from you, right? And that's when you lose productivity. That's what I feel.
Yeah, and I like the sentiment of like setting the expectation for everybody who's in your kind of sphere that if you want to reach me, if you want to have a meeting with me, it's best for me during these times. So that way you're not constantly being distracted by, hey, are you available? Or, knock, knock, knock. Hey, can I come in? People know in advance, oh, Rupesh is only available here. He likes it this way. And I'll address it that way. That makes them more productive because they can plan ahead. They're not, scatterbrain thinking, oh, maybe I can talk to him now. Because you're a pretty popular guy, right? I'm sure a lot of people want to talk to you. And it can, it can be stressful for maybe your team members or other people in your sphere who are like, oh, I'm gearing up for a meeting with the owner of the hotel or whatever. But giving them that peace of mind, knowing that it's only a possibility within a certain time frame, I think is huge. And I'm not at that point yet personally, because if somebody wants to meet with me, boom, we're doing it, because I don't want to pass up any opportunities, but I certainly empathize with your position as well. Yeah,
definitely. And, you don't want to take away from being productive because you're productive. And then somebody's like, oh, they drag you in and you're like, oh, I just lost my focus. I lost my concentration. Right. And I don't want that to happen to anybody, because you don't go back to that. You're not back on track as soon as you come back from that issue or whatever happened, right? Oh, that pulled you away. And so that's a big mindset. That kind of keeps you going when you're talking about productivity. All right. So what's the next one?
So we have leverage people and have yourself an accountability partner. I love this one. Just like we've been talking about with implementing these tips and hacks with your own hotel teams and the people in your sphere, leveraging people is the best way to be productive. I think that, again, like I stated earlier, people get caught up in doing the work when a lot of that work can be delegated to somebody who would be happy to do it for you. So I think using your team, using your people, that's how you're going to be most productive yourself with what really matters, which is making sure that your team is taken care of, your guests are taken care of, everybody has a vision that they can stand behind, because as a leader, that's your job. It's not doing the work necessarily all the time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I mean, leveraging people is not just using them, it's actually making them feel special too. And it's, like, here's not just tasks that we're giving you. I think you do a great job at this one thing or these few things. That's why we're giving this to you. Now you do it the best out of everybody. I love, leveraging those kind of relationships with our teams and coworkers and some of those things, because I don't want to be bogged down with everything. I don't want to be micromanaging everything. Let them make some decisions, let them do what they're really good at. And guess what? They'll be even more proud to do it later or keep doing it because you know that they can do it and they trust you on it and you trust them, right? And that's what I mean when we're talking about leveraging people. And then we also talk about the accountability partner. We talked about this earlier in the gym thing. Like, I have people that are like, what happened to you? Where you been, right? Even past when I was trying to lose a little bit of weight, trying to feel better a few years ago, I had my bookkeeper actually. We would keep each other accountable every single day. Like, hey, did you go to the gym? How much do you weigh? Take a picture of your scale and show me exactly where you started and show me how you're progressing, even though we don't see each other. We might see each other once every couple of weeks, but we kept each other going throughout our goal, right? Through what we do as far as a set of goal. And we didn't just say, all right, this day we're going to lose this many pounds. We set little goals between them, right? And I like that we could do that. And you can only do that with somebody else that's going to keep you accountable. So I have friends. I have a WhatsApp chat that keeps me accountable. I have a bunch of other different people that keep me accountable for different parts of my life. And that's what you need. And, people think, oh, I need to pay somebody to be an accountability partner. No, you don't. You just have a relationship of giving value and providing value for that person too, right?
Yeah, I think like the key takeaway that I got from what you just said was you're constantly talking about it because you have a group chat, you have people who are like, hey, this is a part of our conversation. So you're always talking about it, and it's something that it's a herd mentality. It's a community group. So at your hotel, right, if you have your current SALT scores or medallia scores on a board, but you also have what your goal is to achieve as well, and you talk about it and you hold each other accountable. If something that a team member didn't align with that goal, like a bad check-in, for example, that's just like if you skip the gym. So, and you hold that person accountable, and eventually those little goals that you set, you'll accomplish them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're down to only 3 left. And listen, this next one is super important because we could all go down this rabbit hole of eating and drinking bad things, right? And I can say this for myself. Listen, you see me on the show drinking water every single show because I feel like it's important that we stay hydrated and eat right. And that's a huge part of being productive is what you put in your body. Not only working out, not only making lists, not only all the things we talked about, but is eating right too. There have been times where I'm like, you know what? I'll just make it easy and just go next door. And it was McDonald's back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and after you ate it, you felt bad, you felt sluggish, and you didn't feel productive, right? And guess what? You might even gain some weight, and now you feel bad for yourself. And guess what? Productivity goes like this, straight down, right? And I think eating on time is super important. So guys, I just want to tell you this, and my family knows, if I don't eat at a certain time, I get moody. I need to please feed me, somebody. My family knows. Like, they're like, did you eat? I'm like, yes, I ate. All right, good. Now we can move on to whatever we're doing. Rather, if it's a drive somewhere, it's a trip somewhere, just feed me on time. And that's a mindset that we need to keep when we're talking about productivity, is just eating on time, eating the right foods, because often you're working 12, 16 crazy shifts, and you're like, let's just make it easy. I'll just go to the sweet shop or the gift shop or whatever's around me and just eat that crappy food. You know about that?
Yeah, I do know about that. Unfortunately, I think, it's the whirlwind of the day-to-day again. It eats you up. It takes you into its claws, and every easy way out becomes more and more tempting when you're working 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day and you're hungry. I remember when I was working at the Drake Hotel in Chicago, I would get a large coffee when I started my shift, and that would be the only thing I would consume by the end of my shift. And there'd be like maybe a couple sips left of coffee at the bottom. And I felt like shit. Excuse my language. I don't know if we can swear on the show, but I felt horrible afterward. And when I would get home, it would be like, okay, let me throw a frozen pizza in the oven because I just want to go to bed. I just want something quick. Now I'm happy that I've actually started to cook for myself, and the pride of going grocery shopping, making some food and eating it for yourself. It's been a huge transformation for me in the last 5-6 months. So I'm just, I think this is huge. It's worked for me so far. And I look forward to continue to implement that. It's huge. And let's all drink water right now, by the way. Everybody,
everybody take a sip right now. Hold up. I feel good.
Cheers, everybody.
So what I tell my kids is that they're like, we're hungry. I'm like, you just ate all this stuff. Go drink a glass of water. And what happens with water, especially when you're not hydrated, you get headaches, right? Drink some water, then eat a banana, eat something simple. Like I take a banana with me often a couple times a week when I'm in the office or just around the house, because that fills you up. You don't want to fill up with like chips and stuff that would just drag you down. Because guess what? Being productive means that you feel good about yourself, feel good about what's in your body, because that could drag you down too, right? You could have all the lists in the world, but if you don't feel good about yourself, it will drag you down. And it starts with food. And there's so many, almost every single hotel I've been at or to, it's always, I feel like food is a big problem where we just take the easy route. And that's why that's why we put this in as a productivity hack. Like some days you just have to, or a lot of days, it's okay if you have those cheat days, but there are most days that you have to be staying in line with your goal, and your goal is to feel good, be productive, and help each other out. And you could do the same. Like, let's say you're doing a great job as far as drinking water and all those things. Guess what? Share some advice to your coworkers, your associates at your hotel. Guys, I felt so much better because I'm doing this one thing, right? We're not trying to put these negative ideas into people's brains, but we're saying, hey, this is how I feel when I'm doing something good, right? Or hey, I know we have a goal of trying to get somewhere. Let me help you with this, right? And that's when you're a good person to kind of help others and then help yourself too, because it goes back and forth. All right.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for a lot of the hotels that have their full service properties, you have buffets in the cafeteria for the team members. A lot of them that at least I've experienced, they have a salad bar and a healthy section, and then they have lasagna, spaghetti, thick soups, and everything like that. And nothing tastes better after getting yelled at by a guest than a bowl of spaghetti or lasagna. But when, again, holding your team accountable, let's try and have salad or bring your own lunch, encourage others. And, peer pressure is a huge thing when it comes to food as well. So, don't let your team talk you into ordering pizza when you brought your lunch from home with you. So stay good on that.
That's a great tip. Yeah. I'd bring my lunch and they're like, oh, we're ordering out. I'm like, oh, that sounds even easier, or it sounds better. It sounds delicious. And so I'd be like, oh, I'll just eat this tomorrow. And then I never ate that lunch that I packed. Right. So that was a waste of money right there too. And guess what? Now you don't feel productive because you just ate this super caloric heavy food, and now you're like, you want to go to sleep, right? So eating, and listen, I'm a foodie. I talk about food all the time. I love cooking. I love all these things. We're talking about pizza or any of that stuff. But there is a time and place for all this stuff. And if you want to be really productive, start with water, stay hydrated, eat, make good choices, right? I sound like my parents right now, like, make good choices, son. It is the truth. When you're talking about your health, you're talking about being productive, this is a game changer, right? And a lot of times you feel great when you've lost 2 pounds or 3 pounds or whatever it is. You feel really good about yourself, and people see it around you too when you're happy, right?
Yeah, and it's awesome. A win fuels more productivity for sure.
Yeah. All right. So the number 12, we have one more after this, and and you wrote this down. It says progress over perfection. Now, what does that mean?
So constantly, everybody is overthinking. They want to do everything perfect. If, get everything lined up, before they pull the trigger and make a decision or whatever the case might be. But what you're doing by valuing perfection in your day-to-day is you're actually just stagnating. You're not making any progress at all. So by just constantly trying to, again, accomplish little goals every single day, even if it's not perfect, even if you fall back, even if you struggle, because that's just how we all are as people. We give into our temptations from time to time. We let our demons take us over from time to time. And if you don't acknowledge that and you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never go anywhere. So progress over perfection. Tattoo that on your arm. Remember it always. You'll definitely go further because of it.
I definitely agree. I mean, I live by that mindset. Anything I start, it's always the minimal viable product. If you ever look it up, minimal viable product means if you're starting a side hustle, like you're not just going to quit your job and go do this one thing. You're going to go test the market, right? You're going to go see if it works, and you got to do it really quickly. And so anything I do, I have other side businesses that I have. I don't just go all in on it. I see if it works. And so I'm not wasting my time, right? And so the same thing we're talking about is not, when you're talking about a side business or even anything in your hotel, you're not making it perfect at the beginning, because no one is perfect at the beginning. It takes progress, right? It takes time. So even a logo, for example, if you're thinking about starting a side business and you have this passion of cooking and you're going to want to cook for somebody on the weekends for a group of people, and you start making this logo and you're like, oh, I don't like the way it looks. It's not perfect. Guess what? Put it out there and move on, right? Eventually you'll get to what your goal was. But I feel like a lot of people get set back because they think perfection, it needs to be perfect at the beginning, and it doesn't, right? And I think that, yeah, someone's saying the lean startup, lean framework, it is. That's what it means. Like, don't make sure. I mean, when we're talking about hotels, you're like, oh, you want a perfect stay, right? And yeah, we do. But sometimes it's not going to be perfect, right? Sometimes we're gonna have to go through things. And when we're talking about even getting stuff done, we're gonna get it done we're gonna go above and beyond. And sometimes when it's due or whatever, it's okay if it's not totally perfect the way you wanted it. As long as it does a job and it meets kind of your criteria, it's okay. You can always fix it later, right? And especially when we're talking about all these things that we're trying to do on the side or keeping us going, don't go with the perfection mindset, because it will kill you and it'll make you fearful of moving forward.
Especially right now for everybody who unfortunately maybe isn't working right now because of the state of the hotel industry. I know there's a lot of people out there who are talking about, oh, I could start doing this side hustle, or, I want to start reading this book or whatever, but, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've never done it before. I don't know. Or I'd rather just watch Netflix. But start by reading one page of that book that has been staring at you on your shelf. It's been, taunting you because you bought it and you haven't read it yet. Or, start by recording one episode of that podcast you wanted to put out and just see what happens. Good things take time. And I think, you'll be happier for trying and happier for prioritizing progress over perfection.
Absolutely. All right. So the number 13, it is have a growth and a positive mindset, right? I talk about this every single day. Every single day I'm growing. And that's part of your productivity. How do you stay positive is by learning new things, staying positive when things do occur that aren't going your way, right? And if you have that mindset, you're going to grow as a person. You're going to keep going, and you're going to stay positive that things are going to get better, even if you don't have a job right now, even if things are bad. Like for me, I'm staying positive. My dad's going to come out of this, right? That's all I can do. Same thing when we're trying to learn about a new position. Every single day we're growing, and have that mindset, because if you woke up and you learned something new, guess what? You might be able to implement it that day at your hotel. Could change. It could be a game changer, right? So have that growth mindset, have that positivity in your life, and it always gets better. So when there's issues that happen in my life at the hotel, work, side hustles, all these other things, I always think about how am I going to feel in about 6 months or a year or two when this is over. And I always project myself to that, how I feel, and bring that back to me. And it always works like, oh, you know what? It is going to get better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. That's why I always look at it. And so when you're staying positive, and you have that growth mindset, it takes you far. Anybody else agree on that? Hit the like button right now.
Yeah, you have to frame your situation in a perspective that benefits your mental state. Just like you said, wallowing in the weight of your negative feelings in the moment is only going to further put you deep into that hole, which will continue to take from you, because then, you know what, you're not going to the gym, you're not picking up that book, you're not eating healthy, you're not drinking water, you're giving into your demons. put yourself into perspective and think long term. And I also think for everybody who's listening and watching this show right now, you are doing, your part in having a growth mindset, because you're tuning in every week to find out more information, stay up to date on trends in the industry. Even if you're not, in the hotel every day or you're laid off, you're still being in the game by listening to Hospitality Live with Rupesh and that sort of stuff. So keep it up.
Awesome. Well, hey, guys, if you guys appreciated these 13, please comment. Let us know that you did like this episode. And guys, Kyle, where can people find you? Tell us about Hospitality MD, and let us know how people can connect with you.
Definitely, guys. So, and Rupesh, thank you for giving me the opportunity. So I'm a laid off hotel worker. I spent my career in operations, and one of the things that I found myself struggling with was that I think that hotels are sometimes run for the wrong reasons. You have people who only view them as a real estate investment, who forget that it's a hospitality organization. So Hospitality MD started as a podcast that, we kind of used to combat that bureaucracy that we experienced in working in corporate hotels. And now that we're laid off, it's a business. So we are just getting that off the ground here. And the website is coming, and we're going to be task forcing, consulting with hotels, and hopefully one day a hotel management company. So definitely connect with us and listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, whatever. Hospitality, M.D. like a doctor. Awesome. You can find me, Kyle Allison, on LinkedIn, and follow Hospitality MD on LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Kyle, it's a pleasure. And before you leave, let's pick the winner. This week's winner is Khalid Mahmood. I mean, he's been on it since the beginning of the show. He's been asking great questions. And guys, Kyle, if you get a chance, please go back to the comments, and there's a bunch of questions that people have. Please go back and we'll try to answer some of these questions. And guys, thank you so much for this opportunity to share these 13 productivity hacks that could help you. And in the comments right now, please thank Khalid, and also let us know what's one thing that you learned today on the show that you're going to take to heart and you're going to implement and make it part of your life. That's going to make you a better person today, right? Better person in the future. And guess what? A better person for the rest of your team, and sharing these ideas too. So if you, after the show, please share this with the rest of your team. And by the way, you can find this episode on LinkedIn and also on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rupesh. Let me see. No, it's youtube.com/Rupesh Live. Yes, that is right. And all the past episodes you can find there. Thank you so much, Kyle. This has been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been really fun. And thank you, everybody, for listening, commenting, and engaging. I'm looking forward to connecting with you all moving forward.
Talk to you soon, Kyle.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye. All right, guys. What did you think about that episode? I liked it. I wrote down a few things, and actually I wrote down quite a few things. We made this list up together yesterday, and I live by these things that we talked about today. It keeps me positive. When things aren't going my way, it keeps me going, and it gives me the energy, and it gives me, a goal, right, for the future. And guys, thank you to everybody that has sent me warm and wishes and thoughts of what's going on with my family and my dad in the hospital. Guys, thank you so much for keeping me going. You guys are the ones that keep me going and keeping me sharing every week. So I really, really appreciate it. And guys, this week's episode, I cannot thank them. Because of them, this show continues, because it costs money to run the show every single week. And it is spurwork.com/hospitality live. Somebody please put that in the comments, and please click on it right now and save it. I want everybody to go out there and at least get a demo of what they're doing. They're changing the way you operate and you manage your payroll. So it's payroll, it's an all-in-one system. Payroll, benefits, HR, all wrapped up on an online platform that's going to help you save money, save time, get rid of all the paperwork, all the headaches that you deal with right now when you're talking about payroll. You're not printing out schedules and sending them out to people. You're not emailing them. It's all in one platform. And I'm going to read read their script real quick. Switching HR and payroll providers seems painful. Yes, it is. But Spur makes it easy to handle everything for you. Their dedicated implementation managers offer a full support of including complete account setup, all the admin, general manager training, implementation with Spur for free. 100% paperless. So you're not faxing, scanning, printing, none of that stuff when you're hiring, terminating, managing employees. All the benefits are all included in the Spur app. Guys, please go to spurwork.com right now /hospitality live and get this for your hotel. It's going to save you money, especially when we need to save money right now. This is the perfect time for you. Thank you so much to Spur and all the good people there for sponsoring this episode. Guys, next week, I am so excited about what's coming up, and it is Chip Connolly. And if you've known him, he's a legendary hotelier that built boutique hotels back in the day. And next week, he's going to be on the show talking about all this amazing things that he's doing for hospitality people, business people. And he's changing the way we think as we continue getting older. And guys, tune in next week, next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Please log on to my YouTube channel and please hit the like and share button right now so you can share this episode with your entire team, right? I appreciate you coming on every week. I'll see you next week. Stay safe, take care of each other, and stay well. Bye.